So this video is called How to Ground and Protect Successfully and Not Learn the Hard Way like I did. In this video, you will learn how to ground and protect successfully, what can happen if we don't ground and protect successfully, and also how, as you start to do more and more spiritual work and hold more light, how essentially we do have to protect ourselves because we can become a magnet for the dark. My name is Aloise.life Middleton. I am the host of the Dharma Life podcast and the creator of the Dharma Life Academy. And every week I'm showing you how to build a 5D life in alignment with your soul. And this week, I'm talking to you about how you can ground and protect successfully and how you need to learn from my mistakes. So some of you may know that I do a weekly show with Charlie Freak and Josh X, and it's called the Inner Standing Spirituality Show. And I recently did that show and I came off the show and I felt absolutely terrible, like shockingly terrible. I knew something had happened on that show. Like I got off, such a drama queen. I got off the show. I said to my husband, I feel awful. And like, I feel so tired and I can't understand it. And I just don't understand what's wrong with me. And I knew in my heart of hearts that I'd picked up some type of negative entity or attachment. Now, I'm not a stranger to these. I've been taught how to clear them, and I've been taught how to protect myself successfully. But did I do it? No. And the reason I'm going to share this story with you is because probably a lot of you know how to ground and protect, but you probably aren't doing it. So I just wanted to share this story with you because I have to be honest, it's really taught me a lesson, and I wanted to share that lesson with all of you. So what transpired is that I had picked up what they call an archon, which is a dark entity, and that archon had opened a portal way in my brain. Yes, you heard that correctly. And it felt like something or someone was plugged into my third eye and were draining my life force energy. So I did everything I could possibly think of to clear. And obviously I was using my pendulum to check whether I had an attachment, and it said no, but I felt really awful. And so I kind of got into bed. I had to put socks on. I had to put another layer of clothes on because I was so cold. And I didn't want to be a drama queen. It's so interesting, isn't it, the lesson? I didn't want to reach out to my friend because it was like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and I didn't want to bother her. And I thought, well, maybe I am sick. Maybe I'm just coming down with something. So anyway, went to bed for 2 hours and I was just rolling around and I felt terrible. And of course, I was disturbing my husband because he couldn't sleep either. And it just felt very odd, very weird, and just a very strange experience. And in the end, I thought, bugger it, I'm going to have to just reach out to her. So I sent a very dear friend of mine, Sharma Pillay, a message. I'll put her details in the show notes. So you can contact her on Instagram. She's an expert in clearing negative entities and energies. And thank goodness for her, because she luckily saw my message about an hour or two later. So it was probably about 1 or 2 in the morning by then. And she cleared me. She closed a portal way that the archons had opened. So although I had removed the attachment, I hadn't closed the portal way. So woke up in the morning. I still had a bit of a headache, but I felt much better. Contacted her, and she said thank you, and she explained what happened. And I learned something. I really learned that I really need to ground and protect myself. So in this video, I want to share with you because as you start to hold more light, you become attractive for dark energies and entities. And I think what had happened is that one of the guests that came on the show, unfortunately, had something attached to him, which then jumped onto me. And because I wasn't grounded and protected the way I should be, it could jump into my energy field. So that can be solved very simply by getting what I call spiritually dressed, by grounding and protecting yourself. So a couple of things that you guys can do. Essentially, you need to ground yourself on a consistent, ongoing basis. The simplest and easiest way to do that is to imagine that you have energy coming out through the bottom of your feet. Then imagine you have white light coming in through the top of your head. And then see that white light coming into your crown chakra, into your throat chakra, down into your heart chakra. And then imagine that white light getting bigger and bigger and encircling you and encircling you. And then just imagine that you are then protected. So do that with me now. Now, it's so simple, but intention is so powerful. Remember, everything is energy. This is the other thing that blew my mind when I started to get into this work. I was like, what? That's it. You just have to set an intention and you don't have to do anything else. And it's like, yes, but it's powerful because you're working with your thoughts and your emotions, which what people don't understand is actually they do exist. You know, I know this from the Akashic Records. I clear negative thought forms from people's houses and from themselves, which are weighing them down. So your thoughts and your emotions are powerful. And that is obviously how we manifest and how we create. And negative entities and energies sit in the fourth dimension. So if you are setting the intention that you are protected, that you are setting the intention that you've got white light and you're plugged into source energy and you're grounded, then you are basically protecting yourself. Other things that you can do, just looking on my desk here to see if I've got it here. This is one of my favorites, tea tree oil. This was taught to me by a very good friend of mine, Christine Elvig. She wore it on an interview that we did with Charlie Ward and another friend of ours, Dr. David Paul. And again, I came off that interview. See, talk about learning the hard way. I came off that interview and I thought, and I had an attachment. Now I managed to clear that attachment without getting the thing plugged into my head. But the only person I cleared Charlie Ward and I cleared Dr. David Paul. But the only person I wasn't able to clear was Christine, and I didn't need to because she didn't have anything on her. And that was because she was wearing tea tree oil. Very good. So a couple of top tips for you there. If you are a light worker, if you're somebody who's a workshop, does workshop, who's a healer, who is anybody that is doing spiritual work, you will be holding more light. So you will need to ground and protect. So I've also created a little work toolbox that you guys can download. I'm going to put the link if you want to sign up for it. It gives you more tips, not just the two I told you on this video. There's more tips about how you can successfully ground and protect yourself, and how you can make sure that energetically you're not being drained as a spiritual light worker. So I hope that was interesting. I hope that was helpful. The other thing I'm now going to do is put a screensaver on my computer, which basically says all the things that I should be doing before I get on a call with somebody to make sure I am grounded and protected. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Have you picked up entities or attachments? Have you ever had any problems like that? What are the tips and tricks that you use to help yourself stay safe and connected? And if you haven't already, please do subscribe and ring the bell, because I will be doing videos every week and interviewing incredible thought leaders and doing amazing collaborations with incredible light workers. Thank you so much for listening to the Dharma Life podcast. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come over and say hello on my Instagram, our Facebook group, and also please let me know what you thought. So if you are listening, please take a screenshot of the podcast that you are listening to, tag me on Instagram, and I will reshare your post. And please let me know what it is that you got out of today's episode. Remember, when we do our Dharma, we are happier, healthier, we live longer, and we have a deep sense of unshakable inner peace.